be, or peak will be moving to First Clear, which is the relationship that Thurston's has had for many, many years. Dominic is on our relationship management team, and he will be walking through a lot of the features and benefits of First Clearing. And then I will come up and talk a little bit about what the transition is going to look like, the timing of it, and where we're at in that process, and just some things that we need to think about moving forward. So I will turn it over to Dominic, and then I'll be back.
Thank you. Morning, everyone.
Morning.
How are you doing? This crew is pretty lively. I like that because I fashioned myself to be lively as well. Bit unorthodox, so you're not going to fall asleep in this, I can assure you. So let's get right to it. First Clear. Who is First Clear? Let's back up a second. Who am I? I am your senior relationship manager. You'll hear me say this a lot because I pride myself on it because I think it goes pretty far, especially since I'm working with financial advisors. I used to be one. I was a financial advisor for many, many years. So I'm still wired like an FA, and I want you to know that I have your best interests, and I'm thinking like you do all the time, even though I'm not in that role anymore. Still wired left west. Started knocking on doors in 2008 for Ever Jones, which is very humbling. You would see people hiding in the shadows, not answering the door, or telling their child to get away from the door and not answer it. So 08, then I've been with Wells, First Clearing, one and the same kind of, for the past 15 years. So today, let's go over the agenda. We are going to be addressing who we are. Who is First Clear? Technology, advice, and planning. Wells Fargo Investment Institute and advisory platforms. And services management and support. Because support is big here at First Clear. I want to stress that. Who is First Clear? First Clearing is a custody and service provider offering service to broker-dealers and registered investment advisors. So we're going to break down who we serve. We serve advisors, okay? So what we do is we offer a full range of investments, advisory programs, and lending solutions for your clients. We also offer education, developmental programs. We're with you every step of the way, okay? So this is very, very much a relationship. Nothing transactional or cookie cutter about this. Broker-dealers. As a part of Wells Fargo, we operate and think as a retail brokerage firm. So as I said, we're with you every step of the way, and we know what it is or what it means to serve financial advisors that serve clients. We've done it. We're good at it. We've been around for 3 decades. So not being cocky, but we're pretty good at what we do. Registered investment advisors. I'm sure you've heard of this channel. It's hot. It's up and coming. Registered investment advisors represent, I believe it's 22% of the overall industry's FA headcount. In addition, 25% of the overall industry's total assets. So it's up and coming. It's a hot, hot channel. So we also support that as well. What we offer, technology and integration. Well, to begin with, we have a turnkey single sign-on workstation, which again, thinking like an advisor, makes it easy and seamless for you to begin your day and work throughout the day and not have a cumbersome platform to where you have to go digging and get out of one screen and get into another screen. It's all there at your fingertips, ready to go, okay? Secondly, wealth management solutions. We have a wide array of solutions for you, whether it be advisory, investments, and then also lending solutions. So we cover it all. We're not one-dimensional in any way, shape, or form. Transition services. So whether you're transitioning your whole business, your book of business, or you're onboarding clients or FAs, we are here. We have groups such as platform coaching and support, advice and planning that support you in every step of the way. We don't just get you in the door and then say, figure it out. You're fully supported. This is Advisor Gateway. Just want to give you a quick screenshot to kind of give you a feel or a vibe of what it's going to look like rather. It is a single sign-on process. Very simple and easy. You will have an app Looks like it's just a square application on your desktop that you would launch, and you're in it and you're off and running. So as I said before, Advisor Gateway is an integrated experience. We make it simple and easy for you. Think of this, as I said, the app says App Store right over here. Think of this as, say, like a smartphone, okay? You're going to have many apps in here available to you to use throughout your day, depending upon what you're facing and what your client is wanting at that time. Additionally, if you see at the top of that screen, what would you like to do? You know, I've worked in systems before where you need to know if you hover over this and that opens that and that opens that. You just need to know where your destination is. You can type it right in and get to getting and, you know, off you go. So very simple and easy. I always say less things in your way, more time in your day. I know that sounds corny, but it's the truth. Client Review Center. We call it CRC. We like acronyms, but I'm going to spell it out for you since we've just met. Client Review Center is a great tool for you and your clients. What this allows you to do is tailor it to your client. You can also build templates within this, but this is a great touch point that you can go in and it's integrated. So it's pulling from many different places throughout Advisor Gateway, pulling from assets and liabilities, segmenting your book, you name it. It's pulling from all those places to give you a concise, clean, I want to stress clean report that is easy to read. It also allows you to add commentary from Wells Fargo Investment Institute. You've all been online shopping before, I'm assuming, right? You can see on this screen right here, you see those boxes. Over to the right, you will see 4 boxes. All you do is as simple as clicking on it and it puts it into your basket. So if you're like, I want the time-weighted return, click that, it puts it in your basket. You can also build templates. Again, former FA here. I much preferred working with the kind of chill, easy-going type of client rather than the engineer type that uses words like beta and alpha. So my point is you can build templates where you've got the, simple template, but then you've got the in-depth, pocket protector type of template for that, nitty-gritty type of client. So it's more in-depth. So you can have those locked and loaded and easily output those. Advice and planning. Keep going and talking about support and resources. This is just one of the many groups that's going to be available to you. Now, what they specialize in is more life events. Okay, so we're talking about things like education, performance reporting, tax planning, estate planning. So this team is available to you. Whatever you encounter, depending upon what life event it may be, you've got them in your back pocket to where you can utilize them if needed. Wells Fargo Investment Institute. I call this team the brains, right? They're the ones that, actually use words like probably standard deviation, alpha, and beta. So they are the ones that are behind the scenes, crunching numbers, coming up with the commentary, the outlooks, etc. So for example, the Global Manager Research Team. They are a group of analysts that incorporate and use qualitative and quantitative research to help pinpoint and locate the best in class for investment managers and investment products. Another thing I wanted to mention in terms of integration and transparency, because transparency is a beautiful thing. Wells Fargo Investment Institute, they build the advisory products, right? These models. They come up with the best bit, what goes with what's working. This would be a good point for me to mention FactSet. FactSet is also going to be rolling out with Advisor Gateway. You'll have access to that. What is FactSet? FactSet is your market data tool. It's going to provide you things like pricing, stock quotes, economic commentary, and outlooks on the market. So that will be there at your fingertips as well. But the cool thing about that is Wells Fargo Investment Institute pushes those models over so that you can see those in FactSet. Again, less clicks, more moving. All right. As you can see here, a lot of experience. Experience translates to success. Okay. An average is about 15 plus years. So as I said it before, we know what we're doing. Okay. We've got three classifications of advisory programs. You've got your client-directed, FA-directed, and research-directed. So for example, client-directed custom choice, what that allows you to do is to work with your client. It is client-directed advisory program, but you work with your client to help pinpoint the best allocation for your client. Moving over to FA-directed, private investment management, what that allows the financial advisor to do, acting as a portfolio manager, is to go in there and have discretion over their clients' accounts. Lastly, research-directed. Fund Source, for example, when I was a financial advisor, I sold a lot of this. It is a mutual fund advisory program, and you're working with professionally managed portfolios from top institutional mutual fund families. Now, these are all built and researched by Wells Fargo Investment Institute. I told you like acronyms around here, but I'm not going to use it. I'll spell it out. Personalized Unified Managed Account, also referred to at times as PUMA. Okay. This allows you to have options. And the reason I'm showing this is you can choose a single strategy if so inclined, or you can combine it, commingle it, and have a combo strategy if you want. But the bottom line is we're offering you options rather than putting you, constricting you in certain aspects, right? You have the choice. Again, talking about choices, this is also going over the time horizon. We've got short term, medium term, then we've got strategic for your more long term. But for example, the Fund Source Optimal Voice, that is that mutual fund program, specifically looking at the core American. What they do there is that is comprised of all American funds. Okay, so that's your mutual fund advisory program, but focused within the American funds family. Moving down under the Personalized Unified Managed Account, PUMA, looking at allocation advisors, active and passive. What that does is it combines mutual funds and ETFs, hence active and passive. So again, giving you options so that you can do what's best for your client. Core banking offers you the ability to get referral credit, okay, to your client through relationship-based pricing. All right, so you've got those valued clients, and you want to, provide not only on the investment side but the banking side. You can do that. All right, that the advantage to your client is that not only are they going to be working with a top lending leader, Wells Fargo, right? Pretty good at what they do. They're also going to be afforded the opportunity of that relationship-based pricing, discounted products, etc. Now, the value to the FA is not only are they going to be protecting that relationship, they're going to be deepening that relationship. And again, still wired like an FA, what does that mean? We want all their assets. That's going to help you get more money. Net new assets. I love it. Okay. Some of those products, margin is available. There is a requirement that there must be $2,000 of equity for in order to do margin transactions. And then below that, you've got priority credit line. What that is it's a line of credit afforded to your clients, backed up by the underlying securities within that account for those accounts. All right. Also called APCL. Support. You probably met my fearless leader, Leanne, last night on the beach. There she is. And then my counterpart below is Guillermo. Guillermo and I are senior relationship managers. But the reason I'm showing you this is that the support is there. Our responsiveness, we pride ourselves on it. Okay? So this is us. We are available to you whenever it may be. We are here for you. You would flow up through the C-suite, that being Regina or Matt Reynolds or Rick Parker. And then we'd be able to assist you with whatever you may need or whatever questions you may have. A lot of subject matter experts. I call this the Google search of First Clearing. This is referred to as Infomax. Okay? See the search bar up top? You don't know where it is or how to get to it. You can type it in there and it will provide you a story name, much like Google or any other search engine but this is for first clear, for us, for you, okay? Again, to help you locate what you need quicker, faster, so that you can focus on what matters most, and that's clients. So moving through here, also, located on first clearing, InfoMax page is platform coaching and support. I came from this group, okay? And what they specialize in are things such as instructor-led trainings, one-on-ones. They'll come out and give presentations or demos. But again, there's a theme, if you've noticed here, and it's support, ongoing support. So it's not like, got you in the door, figure it out. No, you are fully supported, and there's always going to be someone there to help you find the answer that you need. For example, this screen is just showing, I went in and just did a screenshot of it and typed in products. And you can see this is a list of the products offered at first clearing. So a plethora of options here, ranging from 529s to IRAs. There's that. Here we go again with advisory programs. I just typed in advisory and it pulled up over on the left. You can see there's fund source, client directed, breaking down custom choice, which I already referenced, in addition to PIM, Puma, etc. That is everything. Did anybody have any questions? Yeah.
I have Raymond James now. I use FactSet on there, but it's not real time books because then it retails all these extra fees and show up. On the FactSet with you guys, do you have like delay quotes?
It's going to be live quotes. Initially, it's going to be delayed,
Yeah.
but it's going to be live. And it's not, yeah, you will have live quotes. It's not going to be delayed like at Ranger Jail.
Okay. The only negative is when you have live quotes, we usually have to pay huge exchange fees. So it's like this.
Dennis, we're going to do our best to charge you as much money as possible, but you'll have option out.
I can pay it in Bitcoin though.
But Des, we are in the process of making sure we're replicating the entitlements that we have now and making sure they're rolls over to first clear. So, any other questions about the platform? What's the cost again, Reed? Wait a sec. All that will, and I'll go through some of that right now because I'm going to get into the kind of another bit like a transition.
What's the cost?
So yeah, but we'll be sending out information about how everything compares between Raymond James and First Clearing from a commission standpoint, commission schedule, platform cost, etc. So what I'm going to do is just kind of give you a high level of where we're at now with the transition. So the process that we're going through is going to be a negative consent process. So we will be sending out a letter to all clients with disclosures, and that disclosure is just going to give them the information about making the transition from Raymond James to First Clearing. Being that it's negative consent, there's nothing for them to do other than to enjoy that extremely well written and crafted disclosure that I'm sure they'll read end to end. That's been done by our compliance group. But if they do nothing, then they will be part of the group that transitions over. The first clearing transition team will be opening accounts, and we're looking for the mailing to go out no later than June 1st. We have to give them about a 30-day, a minimum of 30-day notification that we have to keep track of. But starting probably late June, the first clearing department will start opening accounts. So the clients will receive disclosures with that negative response letter. When we open the accounts, on first clearing, there will be a new account package which has disclosures related to the new account. So they'll receive 2 sets of disclosures, and the disclosures are going to be done at the account level because that's what FINRA requires us to do. So just for an educational purposes, we'll make sure that for the mail-in, for those individuals that have Raymond James accounts, we're going to send you out a copy of that letter with the clients that are going to receive it, what the disclosures are going to look like. So you're aware of that and can have that conversation with your customers and prepare them when they get the mails, right? So When the accounts are open, it will generate the new account opening documentation. There are some documents, or there are some types of accounts that are going to require us to get repapered. So just to look at my notes here, all of the retirement, Wells Fargo retirement, IRAs, SEPs, that kind of stuff, you've got to repaper those with the beneficiary information. PCLs, the loan programs, margin agreements, so these features that you're adding on top of accounts, all of the managed account programs, so our Ambassador and Freedom, as they move to the PIM or the other accounts that are on Wells Fargo or True Edge, we'll have to repaper those and then TOD firms. So if the account that we're establishing has those forms will automatically be generated as part of the packet. And we will then send that packet to the client either via mail or electronically for signature so that we can get that back as part of the account opening process. Once the accounts are opened, the next step will be we're going to use what's called a TIF-less ACAT process. So it's not a tape-to-tape transfer, but it's the next step to where we'll electronically put the ACATs into the ACAT system. They will come across in a standard ACAT process. We got about 1,400 accounts that we're going to push over to Raymond James, working with them to make sure that they are able to process those in a timely manner. But it'll take a standard 7-10 business day transition. ACATs can be a little faster, but based upon that, they will come over and then we will validate that all the accounts have been transitioned. All of the features that you had for your clients, if it's ACHs, SWIFTs or PIPs or any of those things that were on the account at Raymond James, we are going to migrate over to First Clearing. So we want to make sure that the experience is the same at First Clearing as it is at Raymond James. And then the other aspect of it is just training. So obviously we've got Dominic and Liz.
Yeah, platform coaching. Which I'm sorry, I'd be remiss to say, I didn't say this in my presentation. Liz Barkley, she's a great resource. She's with Platform Coaching and Support, my former boss. She's got a tech station set up out there to go over FactSet and Advisor Gateway. Really great stuff. I'd love for you all to stop by. Love to meet you and go over the benefits of that.
So they're here, for the conference. They're at the tech center. So if you want to stop by and see what does it look like, experience what the platform is, you can go over there and they'll definitely demo it for you. But just from a back office standpoint, obviously we will be sending out communications prior to us communicating with your clients, so you're aware of it and can have the conversations with them. And then secondarily, we will start the online training most likely in June, and do it all the way through June through July. The actual time that we're going to start doing the ACAT process is that we're shooting for is July 18th. So that is when we'll start the actual transfer of accounts from Raymond James over to First Clearing. The negative response letter, as soon as we get it back from FINRA with their not blessing, which is what the best that they'll give you is, we're following up with them. We haven't got it back, but as soon as we get that, we'll get that out to everyone so that they can review it. Just a few things that I wanted to highlight for you guys as we move forward with the transition are going to be that all of the documentation that you guys have done historically is in Peak Link. So if you look at old apps, if you look at anything that you've loaded in, that's still there. So from a historical standpoint, that's available to everybody who gets into Peak Link. The thing that you may want to think about is statements and confirms. If that's something that you want to maintain in your books and records, and you can upload that if you want to into Peak Link, is that you can pull those down from Raymond James prior to them going, them transitioning. The clients will have access to all their statements and confirms as well as their 1099 since we're moving into during a tax year. So they'll get an email or communication from First Clearing. When that's available, they'll have to log in if they don't have a login, and they'll be able to pull that information down for themselves. So that's available to them and will be available to them per their agreement. What else? Oh, IRA fees and termination fees. So we are going to cover those fees. We're working with Raymond James right now to see if there is a way that we believe there is a way that we can just credit that directly or charge that directly to Peak. So there is no reimbursement. But if that does not occur, then the standard kind of charge reimbursement process will occur. We will refund that back to any client that gets charged that as part of the transition. Got the historical paperwork that's available. All of the information and part of the other things that we're talking about just in general, a lot of information we've brought into Sycamore. So we've actually pulled a file from Raymond James for the last 5 years, and I know David's working on trying to get that into the system so that you have historical activity, account values from Raymond James, and actually not just Raymond James, but we're working with other vendors. The intent is to make Peak Lake that kind of one-stop shop, just like First Clearing will be that one-stop shop for the clearing relationship, but that we have all the information, all of your documents, all of your account values, all of your workflows, so that you can see kind of a holistic view of your client. So we are working with Sycamore to get that information into the system to make it a more robust system for all you guys to use with your clients. So that kind of covers just the timeline of what we're looking for with the transition. I don't know if we had any questions for Dominic as it relates to the platform or just a timeline.
Maybe on that, or Regina can answer this. Will the banking and lending be available to the thirsty folks? Is that do we anticipate that coming?
Yeah. So there's going to be a time difference because Peak is going on to the First Clearing platform. It's new. They already have built in all the new account application with the banking. So that'll happen on July 18th, and then we're looking in August is when the actual banking transition will happen.
Yeah, I think we're actually sending out a communication here that talks about the Thurston transition. Yeah. Because it's going to have a few validations because it is a banking relationship, not just a broken relationship. So you'll begin to see that stuff on the Thurston side.
Hey Dom, Rick here. Over here. Cold Clock. Hey, could you comment a little bit on the features of the new banking integration that's coming in July for Peak and August for Thurston?
Yeah, it's, one of which is the first right out of the gate is the two-factor authentication, which is going to be great from a client experience. Additionally, the online experience is going to be much cleaner and seamless for them. I'm blanking. Leanne, help me out.
Well, and I'll comment on a few too. The ACH ability.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
taking
fine.
pictures of checks, depositing them. Zelle. Sorry, I blanked.
That's fine.
Zelle capability to move money. Wires, for example. I just found out those are no charge on wires, right, Dan?
Online.
Yep.
Yep.
For fun.
Yep. Online wires, no charges. That's also internationally as well.
Oh, is that mean it's for client initiated ones or only for all one?
Client online experience, yes. Online originated.
And that functionality is going
I have
to
a
obviously
quick question.
both Thurston and P as we migrate.
I have a quick question. If you have clients that are resistant to leave Raymond James or make that change, do we have an elevator speech or something? Like as they're getting the letters, my fear is that people will call their advisor and say, I'm not doing it. So there has to be a way to overcome that. So is there support or resources?
So, the letter in and of itself has a lot of the rationale as to why why we as a firm are making the move, the benefits, and in there they'll, that's part of a lot of the disclosures that we're sending out to the client as to why they're making the move, and that's ultimately the decision. Anyone who decides not to make the move, proactively says that they don't want to go is going to become a house account of Raymond James, if they move. But if there's something, or if anyone has any questions about how you want to present this to your clients, obviously you've got myself, you've got Sean, you got the back office that are there to kind of walk you through benefits.
Yeah, there's as soon as FINRA gives their non-approval, right? Once they waive we're going to push that letter out to all of the advisors so that you guys know exactly when you're going to go out, and then you would start having those proactive conversations. We don't want any clients to be surprised by any of us. We'll make sure that you get it well in advance.
Yeah. So like I said, we'll send you the letter, we'll send you a list of the clients that we're going to be sending the letter out to.
So see, you're moving forward, but you still can't tell us what's cost to us as advisors and the you know what we paid Mueller James.
So Joe, we've been pricing it out, right, to make sure that it makes sense. We're bringing the price down, and we roughly hang. The difference, that's okay. So the difference is what we're really focusing with is what are the additional services that you add at that cost versus giving you guys the ability to say it's this cost plus this. You do not want any surprise, right? So it's going to be about cap, but there's also going to be other services that you know. Okay.
But Phil, okay.
It's good question. About the conference, the steep is, and you said that you had to download those, and you said CWAR, so like, what's
So the physical confirms and statements, if you want to have the actual, PEFs, those are available online. Your clients do have access to that online, and will continue to have access to that. But if you want it for your records, then you can download those. What I was talking about is we actually pulled a extract of the last 5 years of activity, and we'll be working to load that into Sycamore Peak Link so that when you go to a client, you'll see the activity for the client, just for historical purposes.
Chris, I use AdviceOn now, so that'll all be transferred over to AdviceOn.
an advisor?
AdviceOn, yeah. So I don't really have to do anything because it'll automatically go from A to J's first clearing it, and all that information will be put inside AdviceOn.
If we're providing data feeds to any vendor, we'll replicate those data feeds. So part of the thing, like for example with Raymond James, we are then going to start taking first clearing data feeds. Thurston actually does a very good job of taking, Rick has done a great job of taking a plethora of data from first clearing. My thought is always, if you own your data, it makes you a lot more nimble and gives you kind of an advantage, because then you can do so much more with it. They've done a great job of that, Thurston, which we want to replicate at Peak. And it's part of what David and I have been working on the last 2 years to get more data into the system. So you have more information at your fingertips, and it makes it a lot easier for me to interact for us. But yes, for AdviceOn or any of the place that we're currently sending the data, we'll switch it from Raymond James to first.
And we still have AdviceOn, that's no choice.
Yeah. Yeah, we still have a relationship with AdviceOn. Bill?
Doc, let's go for you, I think. Right now, when clients want to go online to view their first pay, that's the thing. That's is that going to be the same? Will be adding functionality there, or you add tools?
It's going to go through the app. Yeah. But it's going to be tailored to whatever practice or priority you're with, right? The mayor, the Abby.
And the money boost that functionality will be cash that.
It's all going to be in there.
And yeah.
Absolutely. Partly incorporating like the Zelle aspect and wire is going to let the upgrade.
Dominic, Chris, thanks so much.